just details. It doesn't get it. Pick up another two, over too good for him to be torn back. I think he's happy that he's got through. May have a change of blood for big man. I am with you, by the way, on the no balls. And, you know, one of the days where you just allow people to one practice and not bother being behind, but also, you know, it's a discipline of the game. There's such tight margins. You are 100% correct. 10 and 5. 10 in, I'm not sure in the blast game. That was just in the blast 10 nobles or how many in 192, 2 balls to go. Who are the happier team?
I think Somerset at this stage, after seeing a lot of spin, a bit of reverse swing, I think they'll be happy.
$600 overs you bowled in the blast. 10 noble. Not bad enough. So 93 for 7, a ball to go. And Ravi Bopara thinks Somerset are the happier team at this stage. Remember, it is do or die here for both sides. Whoever loses is gone. Whoever wins through to the quarterfinals, which are on Wednesday next week. Slower delivery will be just the bye to finish off. So they were put into that. Somerset get themselves to 194 for 7.
Yeah, they had a flying start in power play. I still think they'll be happy with 194 after seeing how the surface has behaved. Since the power play, the spinners were introduced into the attack. The spinners would have taken a lot of encouragement. We've seen some reverse swing. It doesn't take away from the fact that Worcester made a good comeback, strong comeback. At one stage it was looking like 220, probably more. Roderick's done a good job there.
So put into that a great start in just 5.5 overs, a 75 run opening partnership between Will Smith and another half century. 52 in, 42 for Tom Root, 28 for his brother James. Lewis Gregory with a decent little cameo, 28 from 16. So Somerset in this must game, 194 for 7.
There was some expensive figures, especially at the start during the power play, but it was Osama Mir who was the pick of the bowlers. The introduction of spin for wicket with his first delivery, getting rid of Colin Cagmore. And from there, was Rapids were very good with the ball weight. Was also good. They've gone for 39, but he done a good job. Took some big wickets, breakthroughs with these 3 wickets. Overall, quite expensive across the board, 194 for 7.
So in this must-win game, place in the quarterfinals for both sides, and it'll be Worcestershire who will require 195 to win. That is coming up after this break.
So yes, 100k.
What the? What are you playing that for? What else is that? It could be you. Well, what makes you so sure? I don't know. I just have this feeling that. He said, I know. It could be you.
That's big summer energy. As are the incredible prices at Asda, with any 3 for £12 on over 100 meat and fish favourites, like these 14 British pork jumbo sausages and these chorizo and British chicken kebabs. And beat the heat with any 2 for £4 on packs of ice lollies. That's Asda price.
Choose. Sevilla. Come on. Wee wee.
New Balance, we got now.
As you can see, I've been on this game a bit today.
It starts right here. Watch England and India in the first ODI of the series, live on Sky Sports. In Blackpool, the darts are always ridiculously good. Betfred World Match Play, live on Sky Sports. The best in the world battle it out at Royal Birkdale in the final major of the year
Little cities.
on Sky Sports.
Right, shall I push the play? I have always found this understood. No one ever got to see the vulnerable side, never. I know I've hurt people deeply, and I know I've made mistakes. But I've got nothing to hide. You can speak to anyone you like. It's like watching a movie, isn't it?
Well, summer is well and truly here, and we have a lot of live cricket for you on Sky Sports. England taking on India in the first ever women's test match at Lords. England need 327 runs to win. Join us tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. at Sky Sports Cricket. The first ODI between England and India will this be the final time that Kohli plays for India in the UK, so you don't want to miss it. 10:15 a.m. Sky Sports Cricket, that one. On Wednesday, the Vitality Blast quarterfinals. We will hopefully be able to confirm where we will be at the conclusion of this match. But how good is it that it's gone down to the final day? And of course, the 100 begins 21st of July and goes all the way through to the 16th of August. A little bit of golf for you. Thursday, the Open begins. Round 1, 6:30 a.m. Sky Sports Golf for that one. But here in Somerset, Worcestershire won the toss and chose to bowl. Somerset raced out of the blocks. Will Smead got to 52. Thomas Bruce smashed 42 of 19 balls with 4 boundaries and as many sixes. His older brother, James, unlucky to go to 28 with captain Wes Gregory, also adding 28 for 194 for 7. I have Alex Tudor alongside me. Alex, do you think Somerset would be satisfied with that total?
I think they will be in the end. They started off like a house on fire. Well, Will Smith, this crowd here at Taunton, they were seeing it a lot. And he just started off with aggression. His back, it just seemed everything was in the middle of his back. And he's just so difficult to bowl to. If you're full as a bowler, he's getting on the front foot. He's crushing quick hands through the ball. But there was one, I think it's after this shot where he generally knows that the bowler's going to go short. He goes full again. And it's this next one where he's just short of a length. He knew he was going to bowl it. He just dispatched it into the crowd. It was an absolutely fantastic shot. Fantastic hitting from Will Speed. And to be fair, he'd be a little bit disappointed how he got out. It was a slower ball, low shot toss. He's thinking maybe I want to try and go past extra cover. And he gets a good catch by Mohammed at extra cover. And he'd be disappointed. But as you say, Jenna, I think they'll be happy to get to 194. I think at the start, with the start they had, they're both probably looking 200 plus. But 194 is a score. Their bowlers now to bowl here. They've got the crowd behind them.
Well, we have to reference Thomas Rue. I mean, he plays without speed, doesn't he? And you forget how young he is.
Well, when Will Smith was going, and that's why partnerships are great. I just said James had an interview with Ravioli on. He said it's just so good to see. He's probably at the top of the order. And then we have to remember he's only 18, I think 17 years old. And he just plays with a freeness. And he's an elegant player. And you can see why the noise around him carries me, not only in Somerset, but around the country. It's going to be a matter of time before we see him in an England shirt. He really has the world in his hands. And, 40 talks up to 19 deliveries. It's fantastic striking from such a young man. We're going to be seeing a lot of him in years to come.
Massive future ahead for him. Okay, what do they have to do in response?
Well, they need to have a start like Somerset had just to give themselves a chance. Worcester had Osama Mir in the middle order to come on and bowl with his trickery, leg spin, googlies, and he used it really well. He knew against the left-hand spinner batsman of Rue, he was going to bowl googlies against the right-hand, the leg spin, and he bowled really well. And I think Somerset, with home advantage, may just do it.
Okay, well, they need 195 to win and keep their vitality last season alive. The chase, it's on.
Thank you very much there, Jen, and a warm welcome to Sky Sports main event viewers. You've come in at a perfect time. Exciting day here down in Taunton where it's all or nothing between the Rapids and Somerset. Whoever wins today gets through the quarterfinals. Whoever loses, well, you go home. It's been a terrific first half of cricket. It ended well. Batters are on top, and then the bowlers pick back. A little turn in the surface, and then towards the end, Somerset batters let loose. They posted a total of 194 for 7, which is an excellent total and is going to take some doing to chase it down. There we go. He said Mohammed to take the first ball from Craig Overton. Straight on the leg, work into the leg side.
Well, what would it be for if you're carrying the bleeding telly now? What it?
Back in the other end,
Should have took it as speaking
Cullen, who left-hand, right-hand combination. Not played many games, just the 10 matches. But you got to learn quick in this game. I'm sure as well it'll be possibly the biggest game of cricket he's ever played in. See a lot about the character of the lad as well as his skill.
okay.
Into the leg side, the corners too. Be very surprised if they get back. They don't. And it is a tough ask to go out and chase these runs down, particularly when you're facing the new ball from Craig Overton. So many matches. Done so well in the game, just 26. And people say 8.2 is a high economy when you're top of Taylor and Indians with the ball. It's really good. Doesn't quite get hold of it. Ravi, what have you made of the pitch so far? Is it your typical Taunton surface?
I don't think it's your typical Taunton surface. You normally, if you're chasing 190 or 195, yeah, I'm quite happy. It's a batting side. I think you get probably win this with an over or 2 to spare. On this surface, there's a bit of grip, turn. Oh, gives himself some room.
In particular, the spin was a difficult thing to overcome of Osama Mir, wasn't it?
Yeah, Summer bowled really well. Used the surface really well. Got spin both ways. I think the important thing that Summer did was he took a wicket early in the spell.
Yeah,
The wicket
right.
in that first ball probably just sent a message to that Somerset dressing room.
I suppose when you see a ball turn early on like that, that gives you so many other things to factor into your batting.
Yeah, especially with the leg spinner who's got the ability to turn it both ways. You have to be a little bit careful. You know, English cricket, normally we don't read spinners from the hand, we normally read the pitch. Used to do it.
Very good.
Underway. Yeah, that's a terrific shot. Superbly timed. Excellent way to finish that first over. Worcestershire 8 without loss.
Well,
Don't
Robert, who does he remind you of?
Tell me.
Well, family member, Mo and Andy. Very similar styles of batting. Almost identical.
So here we go. Just for Dominic Hobb. Riley Meredith taking the new ball. Bowls with plenty of gas. A lot of matches. Looks to bowl quite full. Trying to see if they swing, and then he'll slip you that bumper. So very difficult bowler to set yourself for. There's a bit of a call. You see a lot from the bowlers just trying to spot the umpire and not giving a wide. It looked like there was going to be much swing. Possibly that his action didn't finish it off quite as well as he'd like. Give him another 2 or 3 balls to see if he can find any swing. He's bowling the second over, and believe you me, you might say, well, swing wouldn't go within 2 overs. It does. Very often does. Oh, that's beaten for pace. You almost heard the batsman scream
Well, she put
just before the ball was probably about 1.5 yards in front of him. That batter knew that he was going to crash into the body.
Unless Bill and Nick.
He's got some pace, Meredith. It's a skid off the surface, strong action. Strong Australian action.
Unless Bill and Nick.
Slingy, isn't it?
Off for their anniversary, the 14th of August. Oh, she's having the 14th of August as well. The Friday. But it's Nicky and Bill's wedding anniversary.
Shorter one. He's on for it quick. Fair play to that.
It's free now because
Just the one ball before 87.1 miles an hour. So he's cranking it up. He's gone back down and tell his partner. It's not too bad, really.
There's also an opportunity.
never forget dreams.
So what's the backs to come after someone who's got just unique some pace on this surface.
Okay.
Because it is a slow surface, it's almost someone like Meredith can almost you feel like they're the easiest bowling to face. It's not rapid. It's that nice pace that comes onto the bat. It is an opportunity for the batters to be aggressive and see if they get some big overs.
Down the wicket. Quite time it.
I just use it.
When you're facing this type of pace then, Ravi, what do you think? It's stay in your crease or you're looking to come down?
It's definitely not coming down. I think you're fighting the pace if you're coming down with someone like him. Of course, if he's 80 miles an hour, then you think,
Yeah, she says she's
chip
doing
down the
it.
wicket. But when someone's got this sort of pace,
First of
bowling 90 miles
August.
an hour, really you want to be using the pace as much as you can instead of fighting it and trying to hit him over his head constantly.
Well timed. Good cricket shot that. And as Ravi just mentioned, that was a shot that typifies using the pace.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. The punch off the back foot. That's what we talk about when using the pace. He's not fighting it there, he's just leaning on it. It's a much easier way to play the fast bowlers rather than trying to belt them over their head.
So we must have a bit of colour. And then it's Joe Mustafa. A few weeks ago.
There's a shout. There was a little bit of noise. And this time umpire Steve O'Shaughnessy. He doesn't think the colour has hit it, but it's like it's hit the pad or something.
We'll get a chance to look at it on the replay, but I think it was a flick of the pad.
So I'll leave those
Yeah,
dates.
just a straight there, poking out.
He's a big man to get down on him. That's terrific fielding there from Overton. Finishes off well. Somerset point of view was to show 16 for long without loss of 2 overs. Just when you mentioned there about using the pace, does that mean you're thinking about hitting behind square, or is that where you're targeting hitting that pace?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is I'm not targeting Meredith's like, I'm not trying to hit him over his head necessarily, or fighting the base. I want to get either inside the ball or make a bit of room and hit him through the offside. So that's what I mean by using the pace. And someone like him with a new ball, I'm trying to hit that over his head.
Pulled away from Overton. And that'll run all the way through. Henry Cullen. He's picked up another boundary.
It's almost shots like that, really, where you're sort of getting inside the ball and helping it around. Say someone like Meredith, who's got that pace with a new ball, a little bit like how the Indians have struggled a little bit against Jofra Archer in this series, the T3 series, where they're trying to go at him and hit him off a long on, or hit him off a wide long on, off a short ball. With a new ball, they have that variation of bats and just get done with pace. Whereas if you're trying to use the pace like a little bit of room, slash it through the offside, it might get an edge that goes to 6, get inside and flick him, get inside the pace. Worry about holding that hard then, get inside and get the more the square leg to 6.
Oh, that's a big win. That's a terrific shot again. It's Stefan hit. Legs, so he gets the length he wants. Mohammed puts it away.
It's a good shot. Again, it looks so similar to his cousin going at him. Very, very good shot. Gets the length. Bounce there. Gets it over the wicket. It's a good steady start this from Oscar Duffy.
Not the wicket this time. Pierce, the offside, bit off, who's inside the circle, doesn't stand a chance.
Very good from Isaac Mohammed. He is down the wicket to over there. He can go, it's not quite got the pace. Right? Riley Meredith.
I know it's real.
Pace on the ball.
It's not AI, it's real. Muslim Contino. Messi and Infantino walking together, holding hands. Because that's legit. I would know well.
Exceptional service and this one you've got the fastest drivers in the world, a strong Wi-Fi in the sky, free for all passengers. The experience is not close. So, it's official Wi-Fi at Formula One.
Started off pretty well.
Big ball into the attack. Oh.
See.
Lots of questions to be answered, lots of experience from that new ball attack. As you said earlier, there's a good idea of the character of the young players up against this. Gives himself some room. It's gone straight up in the air, but The fielding restrictions and the fielders inside the circle. Will it trickle all the way? Yes, it is. It was Gregory. Couldn't quite get there.
It's a beautiful looking shot from Cullen. It's a classical shot. Bit of room, just chips it over. Extra cover. It's a safe shot, safe option. Taking on the gaps.
Pulled away. This has gone high in the air. Deep squares running around.
He's naturally left-handed, but I think he's plucked it up with his wrong hand. You won't see him any better than that.
But he's a very good fielder, Daniel Sams. He doesn't drop many. He's quick over the top. You just make sure he times this right. You just see he slows down a little bit, times it right. Cullen a little bit late, but they gets it high on the bat. There he goes. He gets around quick enough. Just times it to perfection. It's a good grab. Cullen is gone 18 or 14, 35 for 1.
First wicket is put on 35. So Worcestershire will still be relatively happy. Got themselves off to a bit of a flyer, but don't forget here, Daniel Sam is a big unit. 6'20", 1450 stone. To throw yourself around like that, never took his eyes off the ball at any stage. Completed the catch. So in completing the catch, made sure that his elbows didn't bounce the ball out. New batting captain for the Rapids, Gareth Roderick. 44-36 in the last bit. Also, could not get into the ball. Push him in on. Interested you, and you got it right. You followed with a good catch, and you years ago with a good catch. We've seen so many absolutely great catches. It falls into the category.
Yeah, I think it's a good catch. It's not spectacular. It's something we expect. Yeah, take what a game really gets enough. In the back, you
probably say a ball that you expected to catch.
It's not that. Can't be avoided. It's not bad again. Make sure he gets
the ball wants it. Look at that well. We forget that. Won't get it.
have a look at this. It is time. It's very time. Just give that the benefit of the workshop.
Rockets. Short walking ball, field not a lot of foot movement there, like a lot of the modern batters.
It's like a bit something.
Yeah, you probably don't need as much foot movement Meredith. Pace for you to lean on. And also, you don't want to have too much foot movement. The legs just get in the way. You need to use your back as much as possible and have a clear path for your back to travel.
So at first, what's that one? 16 minutes.
Back there, it's a long way to get right, I suppose. I feel it's going to be something short in this over. wonder whether it's going to be the slower ball bump. Two fielders waiting out there. Oh, there it is. There's the slower ball bumper into the pitch. Gets sliced to the back of Mohammed. And Mohammed gets a breakthrough.
Mohammed tries to give himself a bit of room. Meredith just drops it, throws it hard into the hip. Isaac can't quite get inside the ball. That's the danger of taking him off with that extra bit of pace. Rush and get the top of the bat. That's a very simple catch for Overton. Isaac's got 17 off 10, 37 for 2.
Smart bowling from Riley Mohammed. Ball into the pitch. There's a little bit of inconsistency, I should say, of pace on the pitch. Picks up his wicket. Brett Oliveira, we well know surname in the rapid circles and in cricket in general in the UK.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's good. That was good bowling, wasn't it? In towards the hip, short of a leg. Listen to see if he's just taken away. There it is. Thick as well.
250,000.
Like Mohammed predicted with those two fielders out at deep square that something was coming.
It was hard into the surface. Really, really difficult to force it back over mid-on.
He's settling in really well. After every ball that's bowled now, there's a ripple of applause that goes around. If it goes Somerset way, proud of getting in.
Well, they're sensing victory already. They're in a great place. Somerset 37 for 2. Worcester, I think they're right on top.
Oh, I think that'll be wide. That was very short. Quick mind. Plants the seed up in the back.
Yeah, he's cranking it up there. You can just tell. Running in a little bit quicker. Obviously, that confidence from taking that wicket. Slams it in. And he has to slam it in on this surface because it's not a quick surface. A huge amount of bounce and pace like a normal Somerset wicket. I must say, since the inclusion of Meredith in this team,
it is daylight, isn't it?
yeah, Somerset have been a much stronger side since Meredith has come in. They might have won 4 out of the 6 games that he's played, so they're a different side when you've got someone like Meredith holding bowling.
He spearheads the attack. Unsettles the opposition batters. You know that somebody can crank it up to 85, 90 miles an hour, whether it's at your throat or whether it's at your toes or somewhere in between. It's not a pleasant job to face it. Well, Oliveira said, well, with all that you can do, I'm counter-punching. And he does that with a great shot through mid-wicket. And that's 5 overs gone. Worcestershire, 42 for 2.
Well, here we go again.
The stage is set. Catch the 100 live on Sky Sports this summer.
So let the fun and games begin.
In the pool, the darts are always ridiculously good. Betfred World Match Play, live on Sky Sports.
Your best friends in the world are here. What do you want to do? Just trying to move forward.
42 for 2 then. Somerset restricted Worcestershire with a over to go in the power play. Nicely played. And a quick outfield, this will run away. Shot from Roderick. Tunes. This is good. We're under a bit of pressure at the moment.
There we are. Now got the first ball of the over from the skipper, Roderick. Needs that to keep going. I need a partnership here.
All outside edge. Run away. So back to back to start this last over in the power play. They need this to wrap it.
Yeah, this format, I really worry how it comes. Courtney for less. Overton under some pressure. Roderick was going to the leg side to open up the offside. Thick edge. Slips at this stage. Score moves on to 50 to 2. Yeah, it's perfect.
Just tell him that I'm going.
It's the highest power play in Somerset this year.
I need to leave that.
It's Rapids under pressure because of how in that middle period of the Sama Mir and that wait ball slow deliveries. It's exactly how they'll look to attack it now with the likes of Leach, maybe in goals. See the difference.
9.
18 run difference so far.
Unable to move
Long
it.
left.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have had this a lot.
Yes,
Not when you were playing this format. Hit the splice for the back, not giving the batsman any room. It's not
That's
overdone.
not pedestrian, that's unable to move it.
The Liberating Forces arrived probably in 1945.
Make it out of this. Here we do it.
A young captain, Theodore Pancher, nicknamed Biden Pancher, is sent over to investigate what happened.
Pancher is only 24 at the time, but he's already had 3 years of really intense interrogation work. Ultimately, that's because that's what he would put on. He knew it like that. His hands were in hot, ultimately.
My name is Andrew Pancher. I was from the Danny Pancher and conducted the investigation post war on it. The most important thing for me is the people had to develop these wonderful communications and so on, but how many people didn't kill.
There's work that involved piecing together information from eyewitnesses, interrogating the prisoners themselves, to gather the evidence.
The first 3 Walker, Helder, and Alderney are run by this big laid-back construction firm organisation Tony. And the 4th camp is run by a very
The SS are the Schutzwaffe. Something of as Hitler's personal guard, his protection unit. And it has various branches. There is a combat unit, but there is also the horrendously named Death's Head unit, and they are responsible for the concentration camp network.
Now just
In
go.
Alderney, they have direct responsibility for the 1,000 prisoners in Salt Camp.
I was sent to Silk Camp to do artillery. The men were beaten so long that they fell down from sheer weakness. They were beaten every day.
Silk was terrible. Terrible. I saw a man crucified for stealing. We were marching from camp to work once, and I saw this man who couldn't walk any longer. He was shot down right there by the Germans.
About 1,000 people were held in this camp. Lots of people compressed into a very, very small space in terribly constructed buildings. There was very little in the way of eating for these people. The US guards were stealing the food, so malnutrition was a major problem. There were people who were strung up on the camp gates. We also have testimony about prisoners being shot trying to escape, which was a euphemism for the SS encouraging them to run away, and then they would kill them when they did. Recruits to the SS have absorbed this racial concept behind Nazi ideology. So for them, when they are guarding camps for Russians or Poles, they don't really consider them human. They consider them intellectual, subhuman, and they believe they have the right, the responsibility even to kill them.
I witnessed an execution of a young Soviet boy. This Soviet boy had stopped working to change his footwear, and his footwear was cement pants. That's all he had to wear. An SS guard had walked up to him and shot him and put him back in. What happened next was just after this story. An argument between the SS guard and an officer. And the argument was, if you're going to do that sort of thing, do it in the camp, because we're now a man.
A German prisoner, a dissident, who had ended up in Sylt. The SS discovered him missing. He'd gone and hidden in the church. They did catch him. He begged for his life, but they shot him. And we'd all take everything to see.
Seeing those sort of things probably stayed right to the very end. You had already been killed, you'd already been taken to prison, and already been in concentration camps in Spain, suffering typhoid, and now it was normal, and for the first time in Scotland, you've been born, so it must have been pretty good.
What?
When it comes to the end of this investigation, Panchev comes up with a figure of just under 200 deaths. Some say that Panchev doesn't actually capture the full horror. Mass burial sites, people being thrown into the sea, deaths that were ultimately unrecorded.
My father was well aware that there were more people killed here than that official figure would give, and he says so in his report. Down there, the Spanish force later here saw corpses in the water in Hamburg. What he did not see was German boats going out to bring them back to Hamburg. And kind of happened.
I was used as a diver. Among the rocks and seaweed, there were skeletons all over the place. Crabs and lobsters were having a feast on the bodies. I was not able to sleep properly for a long time.
Panchev realised terrible atrocities had happened. He strongly suspected that more people had died. He even exhumed some graves find out if they were mass graves.
5 graves had 2 bodies in. Some were unmarked. Some had 2 names on back and fronts of crosses. And not all the deaths from the SS camp were recorded as burials here.
We know that hundreds of people died on Alderney who didn't have marked burials. It's highly likely that additional human remains exist in these areas.
Sky History, sponsored by Find My Past, your British and Irish family history understood.
Great warriors aren't born. They're built. A new series from Sky History breaks down the training.
Sparta introduces training from the age of 7.
Weapons
You save a person in hell.
of the most legendary fighters.
Improvise, innovate, whatever it takes to win.
History's greatest warriors. Wednesdays at 9, or available now on demand on Sky History.
This one is confusing. I started posting science tracks on TikTok because I believe music helps people learn complex topics. Look at them scientists. Oh my.
Biological patterns.
Now people all over the world.
For bringing 30% off selected frames and 2 years interest-free credit.
So what brings you to Campbell's?
She said, I don't do it for no more.
It's your performance and
Classic that is powerful. The way you go is how an Intel Ultra Series 3 processor, the performance for lasts.
Find laptop again. Get the new Lenovo Aura Copilot Plus PC from 43 less to unparalleled built expectations. Turn your battery into live play. It's time for Viacom. It effortlessly eliminates 100% system installing your battery, which is straight and a white, and helps stop it coming on. Get rid of watermarks and turn your battery into with Viacom. I'm with Viacom, the #1 website. Don't have enough water for the party.
His house was over £4 million. The guy and the girl, enter by midnight tonight at domains.co.uk. Yogurt warning for you, sophisticated. Yogurt from everything yogurt from the company. The online super.
I saved up roaming with the Saley eSIM app. With the flexible plan and connected instantly. I think Saley deserves 5 stars. Download the Saley eSIM app for free.
Getting prescription glasses from Select Specs is easier than you might think. Select your frames from our £6 range of in-house brands or our extensive design devices. Then enter our download or email your latest prescription. Our website will analyze it and help you select the best lenses and options to suit you. Click to place the order, and your new Select Specs glasses are delivered right to your door. Ordering your prescription glasses is as easy as 1, 2, C with Select Specs and selectspecs.com.
Five Guys to restaurant.
Package holiday to when it comes to jumping lights, order was long history next to the HMRC Act. Excuse me, I've begun at the end. Okay, I take that back. Where else would you find the legislature use some red tax refunds and check state pension all in one place? I'm so honoured. Sorry, I'm not supposed to put some red tax on the HMRC Act today.
Some days you really don't want to have the word council.
No part of the globe was untouched. No life unchanged. These are the stories that make us who we are.
Strong facts. Tuesdays from Lewis, all available now on demand.
Sky Histories. What's the advice on that has been edited on history understood?
One area that really piqued our interest was to the north of the official cemetery. This has clearly been disturbed, and this area gets bigger over time as we know more and more deaths are happening. It was never investigated after the war. We did some ground penetrating radar survey over this area. What it does is it shows you an area of disturbance here that extends to a depth of about 1.5 metres. It's consistent with a pit. It's consistent with considerable ground disturbance.
I'm an archaeologist interested in the ancient history of the island. My team has been over to Alderney more or less every summer since 2007. We've dug probably 24 trenches. We found plenty of pieces of barbed wire, bullet cases, anti-aircraft shell cases. We found a bit of a landmine. The only human remains we found have been Iron Age. Also, we found a Victorian baby burial as well. We found nothing later than that, not even things like buttons or shreds of uniform or anything like that, which could relate to, say, slave workers. If the Germans were planting graves all over the island, we might have come across one accidentally by now.
There's excavations happened in areas away from the cemeteries. I can't speak for other people's projects, but I think people started to search where we know the cemetery was and where we suspect there may well be further burials. You're much more likely to obviously come across remains there.
500 kilos.
There's this new research that suggests what could be fresh mass graves. There's RAF reconnaissance flight that takes place on the 12th of June 1944, so 6 days after D-Day. And that shows very near the Port Albert military installation what looks like some mass graves, which can hold around 100 to 300 people.
Around D-Day, there was an interest along the whole coast as to what was happening. The quickest and best way to gain information was aerial reconnaissance. I am a professional archaeologist and historic aerial photographic interpreter. The detail you can extract from them can be extremely fine. We're now looking at some known grave sites. You can see the linear areas in between the dark rectangular areas in the middle of each feature. Here is the other side of the island, the typical shaped bastions of Fort Albert with the shadow cast by the higher parts here, the gun emplacements, the buildings inside. This area here is the area that we've been investigating. Within it, I can see linear sections which define the interior dark-toned sections which are regular, rectangular, and laid out. very similar to the known grave sites on the other side of the island.
The direction of the sun suggests that something could act as the shadows of, let's say, therapy. They also look a little bit small compared to the size of the graves at Longy.
It doesn't seem to me a tradition really would want to penetrate. But this is what I would advocate doing the necessary investigation. Each one step
That poison.
and that might satisfy those people who are breaking those beliefs.
Antonio, you're also joined by
identify.
It's not, you've already lost.
We're talking about hundreds of bodies disposed of. Right? We have victims that name people who definitely died. We have witnesses who saw the bodies of people.
So,
that
but
they
you already
knew,
lost.
And we know in many cases those bodies were very image. It wasn't within our remit to do archaeological investigations because some of the victims were Jewish, and Jewish burial law is very specific about not disturbing human remains. Clearly, there is a rationale for undertaking that kind of work. Of course, without excavation, we can never know exactly how many might be there.
These atrocities have been dealing with sure. I have an emotional all the to my father. I would not likely find hostile remains of people being killed, and they have not been tracked.
Now got the big. There's a number of people who died from murder. You can never close the history through what people do. But I think it's very good for, in a sense, the nation with a much better understanding of what took place, what is British soil.
I remember being with him, my father, when I must have been 12, 13 years old. The boat would come in and I would be French, for hands waving. These were survivors. I remember them all embracing each other at the harbour. We were just like my father together and we see. And I've never taken notions of their lives here in England. This was something that changed my life. All of them wanted their fellow prisoners to be recognised.
Okay, so
Those who died.
I've got half a mil so far.
And those who have never been found.
Is there some sort of weird sinister motive that's making the British have wanted to try, like crimes committed on British ships? One problem you must know what happened.
I want to tell you, somehow they just brushed them aside.
We've got strong and compelling evidence that two Englishmen had been murdered.
It does represent the only known incident of British dying, and it has Nazis on British soil. were it true that 2 Englishmen had been murdered on Alderney, that really changed the story of the war.
I don't know, seems to get whatever.
My great-granddaughter did. She was arrested, transformed, history. Your British history understood.
Tom Hanks, Tuesdays from 9, or available now.
Tonight, continues with one of Hitler's British homeland.
My great aunt Susie was there.
Okay, so I've got 349 gear.
Sky History, sponsored by Find My Past. Your British and Irish family history understood.
We're talking about hundreds of bodies that were disposed of somewhere.
There were concentration camps run by the Nazis in the Channel Islands.
There were Germans who should be prosecuted. We have the witnesses, we have the people.
My father said to them, "You must know what happened. I want to tell you." Somehow they just brushed him aside.
This is the greatest mass murder in British history. And yet the perpetrators walk away scot-free.
The British authorities would have been ashamed of the crimes that had taken place.
Why did they do anything? Stalin may have been more in getting something out of that into Russia than he never found this war. My father certainly didn't because of music.
In 1940, Germany invades France and very quickly take the country. Then they have a very juicy prospect of occupying China.
Them.
This is very important because it's British territory.
Yep. Oh, this is
It's a fantastic propaganda coup for them. Hitler now can present to the world how fun it would be if the whole Britain came inside.
The 1,400 residents of Alderney decide to abandon their homes, abandon their livelihoods, and live the other way.
People were given 2 hours notice to put a bag together
destroy their animals and to get themselves down to the harbour. So they basically just left their homes.
They realised that the life under the German jackboot is going to be very, very unattractive. And all bar about 8 or 10 of them flee.
The first couple of years of the Occupation was pretty traumatic. But things change in
I don't know where the ones that will be.
the history of people concrete defences, stretching all the way down to Scandinavia, right through to Spain. But it becomes exact
Did you see all the ones?
concrete wall bunkers, huge underground tunnel systems. This involves
Are people that dumb that didn't see again?
There was a contingent of French Jews and Spanish Italians. So it was very, very international. But the conditions of the camps were terrible for the youngsters.
They would have a task to modify all the if they all died, then it could be that. So they would give the lives sufficient to work. But it was actually an appalling regime of beatings and killings and utter brutality.
There was almost no food, maybe literally soup, a hunk of dried bread, if that. They were starving. They were working for hours and hours and hours. When they fell, they got sick. They were kicked, beaten with rods and butts. It was utter contempt for human life. The Polish and the Russians were lower people, savages. Nazi ideology regarded Jews as repulsive as well as the Eastern Europeans. The treatment of those Nazi guards is utterly brutal.
They don't live the ring in themselves to do any work, but they live there to take it on their shoulders to beat people, to make people, to crucify people, have dogs tear them apart, and throw their bodies into the sea. These are things that people are capable of.
After the German occupation, the general orders were agreed. The German commander-in-chief was still on his way to the English prison camp. Thus ended the origin ordeal of the British occupied
Very soon, what emerged is the stories of ill treatment. Many conventions of the unlimited. The liberating forces decided that this needed more information and they sent a long account with the group Hunter to investigate what had happened to their home.
A key of this interview quite mentioned is this man called George Patton, a British
Nah, try to take that, Laura.
George
Come on,
Patton said
Messi.
he knew 1,000 people would be killed. But when we look at the records of the investigators, Hunter in particular, we see that they had doubts about George Patton's story, his relationship with the Jews, about why he was on
If they put my son, I'd just play like that. We don't care.
Now, how does he end up on all the
My name is Janet Pope. My father was George Pope,
Put my son, you put my stars.
the eldest of 6 children.
Something like that.
I think he was 11 when he decided to run away from
this on a merchant ship. My father could be quite forthright kind of person. He would have walked back. He said one day, I'm really not staying here any longer. The weather's terrible. I can't face another English winter. Why don't we get a new life somewhere in a new world?
In 1939, he decides, I'll go
Ist ein Quintino Borelius.
away to New Zealand with his wife and children. I don't know what route he planned to take.
An oilskin container in which he stuffed all his sea charts, which were a sort of his Bible at the time. Or maybe they just decided to be an adventure.
Now, he doesn't really get that far. He manages to make it to France. When he's in France, the Germans are on the move. What are they going to do? Are they going to stay in France with his family? Or are they going to flee?
Yeah.
He looks at the map. He's going to go to the nearest place of safety, and that is Cornwall.
Sky History, sponsored by Fly Pass, the British and Irish Movie History Understood.
30% off selected frames and 2 years interest-free credit.
Some days you really don't want to hear the word cancel.
It feels so
He commits him probably.
These everyone's talking about. More things that need no introduction. Probably things from content.
Yes, we need more.
Big ones are really way bigger. Big deal.
The big one from Ariel. Oh, with double staining and odour removal, all those big messes really are no big deal. The big one from Ariel. Always keep away from children.
This is Formula One at its finest. It's lights out! Now we go!
Good Retailers, official partner of F1.
When you have piles, toilet paper can feel rather rough. So try soothing and cleansing wipes from Anusol.
Goes on. Thanks, Peter. Coming up, if you go live on Friday night, we will get live on Saturday. Massive games live on Sunday. Don't forget, league action live on Monday night. Then it's over to Europe for the big one, live on Tuesday. Then the even bigger one, live on Wednesday. Then it's the other Europe.
Sometimes a free. So, if you want to take time out from betting, use £20 Take a Break tool to pause your account.
Yeah,
We get about 26
definitely. The broad breast.
We have around 12 jobs, 10 fresh staff, 6 friends, all in about 15 loves. Our most human moments should be celebrated with humans. Celebrate being human.
You're going to realize it one day. Happiness was never like the old.
Princess. So much. But it's a phone when you cry. It's relaxing.
Is your thumb in the middle?
The place was just empty and the doors were wider. They stole everything they could that was any use. Is that collecting, or is that cooking things that you would rather were used by islanders than by Germans? You knew that they had a larder full of food. So you go and get it, what do? You leave that food to get waste. And then if they've got chickens in the yard,
Get lost, right?
you have to survive. It could be very dangerous to be found getting into somebody else's empty house. It was happened. It might even get shot. Social order begins to come. I would like to ask if I were to have it,
That's him. Okay, that's him.
One example is something more. Neighbors of the people from Guernsey celebrated in order to remove housing to take stuff back to the east. They're caught by the Germans and tried for looting the whole thing.
The stone and sending them soon the but it's a case of take what you need, not what you have.
A lot of other occupation is tough. German occupied face really devastating moral choices. Do I collaborate with the Germans? Do I fight them? Do I just keep my head down?
Nobody dares excel without someone keeping it behind. And so every few weeks, my father carried here to sit there and vote. So yes, we did have that relationship with him, but there really wasn't fact, at the very beginning, my father was ushered to the Commonwealth service. The Commonwealth service went with the family, and he said yes. And then he said, well, I have done. We had all interacted with the Joneses. I mean, we made 2 hours long, we never hours long. We can't kill them. We escaped from it. My father was the eldest son of the Germans because he spoke a bit of German. But with those in property, anything he could do to annoy them, so long as it didn't actually get him put in prison or shot.
When the British investigators arrived on the island on the 16th of May 1945,
George Pope said that he knew of people who'd been killed, who had died there as a result of being incarcerated in their house.
the latest review has identified the death toll
Like
probably up to
English also
1,027.
drinking. Like well,
We now know, obviously, that George Pope's figure of 1,000 is very close to what we have come up with, and so it does raise the question about how he acquired that information.
He was given a German document, a list of deaths, stolen by a German army officer who possibly didn't really like Hitler. He duly dumped this evidence in my father's care. When the British arrived, my father invited a couple of the officers to our house, and he said, "Here you are, it's a German document with the insignia on it. And these are the deaths."
Hampshire, when it comes to the end of this investigation, I'm not going to figure that just under 400.
Document, essentially an interrogation report of a German officer on
Yeah.
This described 2 Englishmen who have been beaten and shot. And then their graves have been levelled and the crosses removed. It says here that a statement was given to the Englishman Popo, P-O-P-O. Popo is the name the Germans gave to George Pope.
Here, you've got strong and commanding. Yeah. The 2 Englishmen had been fired upon and murdered.
If true, if this incident is true, then it does represent the only known incident of British dying at the hands of Nazis on British soil.
2 Englishmen. I'd be fascinated to know. Father certainly never mentioned. However, it could be that it was so not repeated. Very true, 2 Englishmen. How can he change the story?
What the documents show is that the British investigators thought that Pope was an unreliable witness. They strongly suspected that in fact he collaborated with the Germans and therefore had a motive for him magnifying the extent of German crimes in order to ingratiate himself with his inquisitors.
My name is Andrew Pancliffe, the son of Bunny Pancliffe, who conducted the investigations on Albany. I think with Pope come too hard. He didn't want to be seen as a collaborator, but in the course of so doing, he became unwittingly what amounts to an unreliable witness.
of knows him. This is a brilliant horror film, very convincing. And my father was really longing for somebody who'd help. I thought he definitely thought this man was the answer.
We need a new movement, a model of youth, of energy, of labor.
My first job was to take the spotlight at Moseley, which is where the youth had heard speak to a huge audience and convince everybody that he was right. The scales fell from his eyes in that he saw Moseley for what he was. He heard Moseley speaking in a way that was completely unacceptable about the Jews, and that did it. Wasn't having it.
Dominance.
He went up to London one day, confronted Moseley, who was a bit vocal, and my father left. And tore up any evidence, anything to do with Moseley. And didn't.
We know that the Germans tried under threat to George Pope to try and get him to cooperate. Was it the story to scare people? If that were the two dead people lying in the ditch, and God who said they're British, even the British were activists. They had doubts about his relationship with the Germans, about his motivations for wanting to speak so freely about death, and really dismissed his testimony. We do know that Bush gave documents over to the British, but the actual list has never been found. I don't know what's happened with this list, but we don't know what happened to that list. We don't really know the nature of that list. And because we don't know the nature of that list, that therefore necessarily happens. One can only hope that if that list exists, that one day it will turn up in an archive. If it does, it would give us valid
Senate history sponsored by Trump by the British Parish History Understood.
Every year, our government has millions of
Never seen one unless someone decides to take a risk and break the silence. Truth is unstoppable. Sometimes it just needs a little push. Secrets to Classify with David Ducrest. Mondays at 9 or available now on the Miles on Slackers.
And now the Utopia highlights from Trivago. This hotel normally costs £250 a night. Boom, £150. Stay your own deal on Trivago. And you can pay hotel prices and save up to 40%.
I have to buy VIP all over again.
I thought you let me see the I'm talking roulette, blackjack, and some of the best live dealers around. So don't bother the rubber checkers. Join at 323 spins. Backslash at 32.
Brexit, who does this? The conference and program and bullshit is almost it's like the fine.